All right, we're going on to the Lairs. This is a pretty pickle. I mean, at least it was for me. Their Lairs can be literally anything.
Okay, well, I will start by saying they are serpents and they prefer jungles.
Right, I was gonna say that they freaking love jungles.
Yeah. And I wouldn't. They're rare enough, right? I don't think you're gonna find one that's like in the snow. It's just not gonna happen.
Oh
like,
yeah, no.
Like that should.
Unless it had a good reason, it does not. It literally prefers jungles. Likes going to.
I suppose jungles would be filled with more Couatls that have completed their task, because then they just go where they want to go. While if you found one not in a jungle, it's probably there because it has a task to do.
Right? Yeah.
But they're so rare already that if you're gonna find one, go to the jungle.
I mean, like, another thing is, like, the reason why they like jungle so much is kind of like a thing. Sorry, is they kind of like they don't need to eat, but they like eating, like us humans, you know. Like,
yeah.
You know, like sometimes you don't need to eat that double mac and cheese.
That's not very layer info, but
it's not.
I guess
layer
it is
info,
personality.
But it kind of shows like why they like jungle so much. They're meat eaters, so they eat stuff in the jungle. They have no predators, so they'll just eat what they want. But that they actually like jungle animals more than anything else. So that's why they kind of tend to the jungle. Like that's why they're kind of in the jungle. It's nice, warm, and good food. So that's why they would lair there, really. So.
Yeah, true. Nice, warm. So they're serpents, right? So,
Yeah,
I mean, they like that
snakes.
place. They hunt for fun, which, in my mind, does kind of go against their good nature.
They don't hunt for fun. They just like...
Well, what's the difference?
Well, I mean, they're not just hunting for fun, like, oh, it's fun. They just think that stuff is good. Like, they just like the taste.
They're doing it for pleasure, I should say.
Yeah, it's kind of bad, but, like, they think, like, oh, little monkey...
Yeah, I don't think they hunt people.
They don't hunt people.
But, I mean, in a sense, if they are, like, this higher level good, you'd think animals would be included in that, especially if you don't even need to eat them. Like, try, and I think they do this, go try food from, like, some human village. Like, go get a nice salad, or I guess you would end up eating meat at some point.
Well, no, they would literally go to, like, a village just like, yeah, can I have the Amazon warthog dish?
Yeah.
They like hunting because it kind of distracts them.
It is kind of interesting that they like to experience other cultures and travel, and they're fully capable of taking on human form and living as a human. They're already smarter than humans. So it's weird that they can both like a human dish and then also take great pleasure in eating just raw meat, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that there is an animal side to them, I suppose.
There is, because they're so old. Like, Couatls are one of the oldest things, literally, like, in the universe. Like, of Dungeons and Dragons. Like, they were one of the first things, like, before even, like, the gods. Like, they were there the entire time. So, like, Couatls just, like, want to experience all this new stuff,
Yeah.
Like, they don't want to get bored. So they're like, like, why not? So, everything has pros and cons. I guess the Couatls, like that rip that anteater.
Yeah, and I guess they do.
Rip in the chest.
They have their venom that puts them to sleep. So I guess it's a very painless death.
Oh, it's very painless.
But you'd think just life existing is worth something, and in a morally good sense. Like, it's good for life to exist, and taking that away is morally bad. I guess morality though is a little gray.
Well, I mean, they don't think as animals as sentient, but like that's kind of like why they lair in jungles. They really can lair anywhere. Could be a house, could be a cave, could be a boat, could be
they could,
anything.
But anything can, quote unquote. They will be in jungles if they can choose.
If they can choose, they're in jungles. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Somewhere in jungles.
So definitely to get back to Lairs. So jungles, period. They are like human thinking, but even better. So they do own treasure a lot of times. So if you do go into a lair of a Couatl, there's probably some good stuff there.
Money.
There might actually be something there so good that they're defending it. So
like the god, like the god, like artifacts. They would probably be defenders of artifacts, and all the adventurers like, ooh, can I have that? It's like, no. Like, go get that crappy sword over there. Be gone. Like,
right.
He's like, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
But otherwise, in terms of, like, what's in their lair, there isn't...
They can have like human-made stuff, like a chair, because like when you meet them, they might just be like their humanoid self, and then you're like, how come you got that artifact of the dragon orb in the back room? He's like, oh yeah, I'm just defending it. Yeah, no, get out of here, grab the flame tongue.
Right. You know? Yeah, I mean, they definitely could.
Like they actually like talking to people in a humanoid form. They only reveal themselves, when they want to. So.
Yeah, they seem to be comfortable in different forms. Like, they'll sit in the jungle just as, like, an animal and just chill, like, as a snake in the tree. And just be, like, looking around, They're not, obviously, there's nothing that could threaten them. So, like, they're just vibing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not much. There's no traps or anything.
No traps.
I should say there are some in the elemental plane of air.
Really?
Or should I say planes of air? Yeah, they can be up there.
Oh yeah, no, they'll
That's
be
not
like
exactly
a Mount
layer,
Celestia. They're actually in they can be in every plane of existence.
They can be, but I guess we're talking about where are they typically?
Actually, most of the time, it's very rare for them to be in the material plane. Most of the time, they're in the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a mirror of the material plane, but it's ghosts. And, just nothing can see you, but you can see them.
Right.
So like they like to observe, and all their stuff should be in the ethereal plane jungles, and even they might be like in Mount Celestia or the plane of air. They might just be vibing there with some genies or with a god. Mm-hmm. Like they would be homies with a god, like just chill. But
most likely their lair is in the jungle somewhere. So maybe another cave. So many caves. And if they are known to be there, typically it's really good to have a Couatl lair around your village or whatever, and people really like it because it'll just come out and help you sometimes, like we were talking about. So the Couatl lairs are like known to be like something you want nearby. So it would be kind of interesting if you had a Couatl lair and then there's just like a bunch of settlers around it because they came there to like they heard about it and they're like, we want to be next to it.
Right.
So that'd be an interesting like setting, I guess, for a session or something.
That would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, anything else on Lairs before we get into the combat strategies?
I don't really think so. The combat strategies are going to be... I think they're going to be a little short.
Well, yeah, but we got to get into it.
All right.
I mean, I don't know how short they're going to be. They're very different than most monsters.
Yeah, most monsters. All right, so the first one about combat strategies, they don't like fighting. Like, they don't. They don't. Like...
Yeah, if you're fighting one, a lot of things have to go wrong, I would say. So, firstly, the Couatl is going to anticipate a battle if like normally.
They can they can actually see in the future 20 seconds. Like a little
Yes, by that that's a little short though. But I'm saying if they have some way of knowing, and they're very smart, that this battle might happen, not only will they prepare for it if it happens, they will use their psychic powers and all sorts of stuff to try to diffuse the situation way before it even gets close to a battle. So, for example, one thing that they are able to do, I don't think we mentioned this, is they can control dreams. So that they can go into people's dreams and manipulate them. And so if they somehow see an oncoming battle in the near future or even distant future, they may go to what that thing is and try to manipulate the course of that creature via dreams.
And so that's kind of like time travel type of crap.
Yeah. So let's say they live in like a certain cave, and there's like a very distinct opening to this cave. They may implant in that creature's mind to like dreams of death and like terribleness and run away, and then put the image of the cave in their mind. And if they do that for a while, then the creature may, when fate has it where they get to the cave and the battle would have happened, they'll say, nope. Oh, this is in my dreams. I'm not going in there. And they don't. And then no battle.
Exactly. Like they might even put it where like the cave is like a nice place, and they'll put like you and people like shaming you, like what the heck are you doing? Like they would do literally anything. It's like, why would you do that? Like there was good people in there, and then you just get mind messed with, just like messed up.
Yeah, and so in a basic sense, they may just try to talk to you first. If you walk in, they may be like, okay, I see you guys are good. what do you want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll probably do that psychically.
Or
because
they might even meet you outside of its lair. Just talk to you like,
true.
I sense that you guys need something. So what's up? And they're like,
yeah. Now there are limits to like how powerful this psychic connection is.
Yeah,
like they don't just read everyone's mind simultaneously in the entire world or realm. No, but if there is some way that they would know this battle, they would totally try to stop it to the point where they would just say, what do you guys want? And they probably wouldn't do that in person either. They don't like to show themselves. They're kind of shy when it comes to combat. So that's something that you would also want to incorporate. Yes. So let's talk about if they actually did start fighting. How would, if your PCs were evil enough or they had the right reason to initiate combat with this thing and it was fighting back, how would it go about it?
They'd put you asleep. They'd tranquilize you.
Yep.
All right, time to go to bed. They give you, I can't forget what drug is used for you to go to sleep. What's it called?
There's a bunch. I mean, morphine.
Yeah, morphine, they give you a cup of that, make you drink it, freaking slap you and go to sleep. That's basically what they do. They will probably constrict you, and they'll bite you until you're 90-night. You'll go to bed. They'll try not to kill you. If you are low health, they'll unconscious damage, kind of like, not cut your jugular when they bite you. They'll just keep injecting it until you go to sleep. Yeah.
All right, but let's say they're trying to win. So if you have a party of 4, let's just say like the basic 3 to 4 range, if they put someone to sleep, I bet someone will be able to wake that person up. And so this sleep situation may get difficult, right?
They might grab that sleeping person and go and then come back.
They might. And so this is let's start 1. 1, they are extremely intelligent and wise, and the first thing that affects is they prepare for every possible situation. So if this fight does happen, they probably, to some extent, knew how it would go down, and they are ready. So that may include having their lair set up in a certain way. That may include just that they have been inspecting this group and know their strengths and weaknesses, or that they're just guessing. And so they see the big barbarian, they see his axe, they see his armor, and the Couatl is like, I bet that thing is not magical. I bet this barbarian isn't magical. And so right away, you as the DM can play this Couatl as something that is not necessarily like a perfect tactician, but something that is very smart. So use your brain and think about your PCs and say, how would I beat them with a Couatl, right? And then do those things. This is in opposition to other creatures like a Minotaur, right? Where a Minotaur will just run in and fight the first thing that comes up. Yeah. That's not strategic. Couatls will be strategic. So if it's not smart to use the constrict move because it makes them open to attacks, they won't do it. They'll stay in the air and they'll use their 90 feet of flying per turn to like run in, attack, run out, run back if that's what it needs.
Well, also he would probably call upon some friends if he has any. Because everyone thinks Couatls are based and awesome, So like
that's true.
Like they'd be like, so you want to fight, huh? They're like, yeah. It's like, all right, buddy, And then like the Sphinx walks in, it's like, yeah, you need something. And he's like, yeah, bro, these dudes are freaking messing with me. And then the silver dragon comes and it's like, bro, you got a problem? It's like, yeah, bro, look at these fools.
Yeah, Couatl's like the little bro. I mean,
the Couatls are literally
Couatl is everyone's friend. So if it's your enemy, so is everyone else.
Yeah, literally, like if you like the village comes up to the cave, it's like, what the hell are you doing? And it's like
it is the portal scene from Endgame.
It is literally the portal scene.
Just the ethereal realm portals open
and all the angels
on your left, and it's just an adult red dragon. Maybe not red. Right?
Yeah. Silver dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, like the Couatls are
Falcon red, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, literally the Couatls are gonna pull up with his gang, with the guys, like his friends.
Yeah, so that definitely.
So that's kind of a big thing.
However, maybe it wouldn't do that if it fears that its friends would hurt you guys. Because if you are good, it feels it can take you, it probably just would.
It wouldn't call upon the Sphinx to say, nope, you're in 100 years in the future, buddy.
Right.
Goodbye.
Yeah, and you're standing in the middle of New York.
It's just
back to Avengers again. So they're gonna be very strategic in how they fight. Again, they're not like hobgoblin, like this is the combat strategy. They're just gonna be smart. Like they're not gonna do dumb things.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of like a street smart. Like they're like, all right, so this guy, no magical weapons. Don't need to worry about him. The wizard, though, that can hurt me. So let me try.
So let me just run up and constrict him, and now he can't fly away.
Anything. No, they can fly away too with the constriction thing. So that's actually kind of shows how strong they are. They can constrict you, boost out of there, fly away, while the barbarian with no magical weapons or weapons just break on its scales. Fly away. And then just go in a corner, put them to sleep, then come back and do the same thing.
They're insane. I mean, they're just so versatile in that their strength really comes from their numbers. Like, and by numbers I mean like their speed, their armor class. It's just like with those types of abilities, it's not like I have a big axe that does damage. It's I can use just my athleticism and dexterity to manipulate this fight in any way I really want to.
Yeah.
They're strong enough to lift something and run, and they can also run 3 times as fast as anyone else. It's like they don't need to hurt you. And so that's how they would fight. They would only hurt you if you were really beating them, and they realized they're about to kill me, and I have a job to do. I can't let that happen. If it comes to me as the Couatl to kill these good players, that's just, it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
So, in essence, when you play them as a friendly attacker who is really just trying to diffuse the situation. Like you have a bunch of 7-year-olds trying to punch you, and you're like, okay, just stay down, stay down. You know what I mean? You're not going to start punching back.
That is literally the best scenario. It's like when the kids like attacking you, it's like I shouldn't uppercut this kid, just go away. That's actually a very good thing. I mean, even like in dire situations, like even if like the Death Knight comes in and the Couatl's like, oh crap,
right,
he will try to skedaddle, and maybe he'll try everything in his power to do his purpose. So if it's protecting something, he grabs that sucker and runs. Right. If it's like, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not above running.
Like they will run if they think that's the best thing, and that's the best thing to do.
But that's actually a good example of something we should talk about, in that I didn't even think about talking about this because of what we talked about Couatls are like. But what if there could be a situation where Couatl did feel the need to kill something? What would it do? What would be its strategy?
I mean, it would probably put it to sleep.
Yeah.
And then just grab a boulder, like, snap its neck. Just kill him.
Yeah, you would have to do some loophole-y type fighting because, again, it does very little damage. I mean, if anything of any health walks in, the amount of bites it would take, it would just, it wouldn't work.
It would probably, like, grab a magical weapon and just use it on that.
It doesn't even need a magical weapon. We didn't say this. Every attack it makes with a weapon, including its bite and constrict, is a magical attack.
Oh.
Yeah, and that includes if it turns into, a guy with a sword and hits you with its sword. It's a magical sword now. It does magic.
Wait, so he could just turn into a bear, and now it's a magical bear that kills you.
Oh, and to add, good example. If something has a bite attack that it turns into, it can still use its poison.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Good luck. No, but honestly, if it is, it actually, it never tries to kill things. But if it did, it kind of would have a rough time because it doesn't deal damage. You know what I mean? So.
Well, I mean, if you said that bite thing is true, it's gonna just turn into like a bear, bite you, you go to sleep, paw you with advantage.
Right.
I mean, if it really wanted to kill you, it's gonna.
But let's say you have something that is very powerful.
Like,
right?
Honestly, I think barbarians are the hardest things for a Couatl to beat. High constitution, high strength.
A barbarian, unless it's got magic, can't hurt the Couatl in any sense.
Right.
I guess, there's ways. But when it's immune to piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning, that's the big three. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if the barbarian does have a magical weapon, that's rough for the Couatl. Because Couatls are kind of like, if you can hurt them, they're squishy. Like, they're not going to survive long. They only have 9. People think, it has 97 health. It's like, that is not much.
That's that's a lot for a very low-level character to fight.
A lot, but, like, if you're high level, like, even, like, level 4 or 5, like, 97
Well, it's a challenge rating of 4, so it's supposed to be, quote-unquote, against level 4 characters, right? 4 of them.
But you wouldn't really fight it, so,
But you wouldn't really fight it. So, yeah. So, I would say, in summary on how it would kill something, it would attempt to put it unconscious, right? And then go from there, because that's a lot easier. But if it couldn't do that, for whatever magical reason, it can transform. And so, it would turn into something that deals more damage, basically, than it can.
Right,
Because it doesn't deal much damage. All right, so that's combat strategies.
Scary.
Anything else?
Rhino.
Yeah.
Couatl Rhino puts you to sleep every time he hits you.
Well, no, it has to be something that has a bite.
Wait. Well, I was just imagining he hits you, but then he walks over just a little nibble, and then you.
I don't think rhinos have the bite though.
They don't, but
so then it can't use.
Well, yeah, I know, but like that would be scary if he could. Just
he
walks over, do a little nibble, and then you're going to sleep.
I'm more scared of a rhino biting me than like a lion for whatever reason. That just sounds so painful. Or it's like a rhino. I just feel like it would just like crush, while a lion would like pierce. You know what I mean? Which is just different.
I mean, imagine if the Couatl was a shark. There was water. That would be bad. Like a great white grabs your leg and now you're asleep and then drags you in the water. Yeah, that would be bad.
Oh yeah, Couatl would be pretty strong in the water. It doesn't need air, so I'm sure.
No, he doesn't need.
Of course, it does have wings. I don't know how well that works in the water.
He can just shapeshift into a shark.
Good point.
And then do literally the same thing. So
Yeah.
And they can shapeshift as much as they want.
Yep.
Like like they can just do it whenever they want. So if they're like
they could do some Ant-Man fighting styles.
Ant-Man's super strong.
Or Beast Boy does it.
When literally, if he's about to die, turns into an ant, goes in a hole. Bye bye.
Or turns into an ant, goes into your mouth.
Becomes
Initiate elephant. Although challenge rating is probably higher.
Yeah.
But initiate something large. So combat strategies, that should be good.
That's actually horrifying. They are Ant-Man. Anything that can shapeshift. That's a genius idea for a druid. I become a mouse. You eat me. I turn back into an elephant.
Exactly.
Die.
No, I mean that's that's kind of those loophole tactics. You know what I mean? It's like, well, how much damage does that do? Shouldn't that just kill you? It's like, well, so that'll be hard to manage as a DM. But as the DM, you are the Couatl, so maybe just avoid doing that.
Yeah,